The Miami Heat enter the 2025-26 campaign, looking to surprise following back-to-back first-round playoff exits. While the team traded for Norman Powell to complement its core of Tyler Herro and Bam Adebayo this offseason, the Heat aren't expected to contend for a conference title, with the New York Knicks and Cleveland Cavaliers standing in their way. The Heat have been a play-in tournament team each of the past 3 seasons, though they shocked the NBA in 2023 by advancing to the NBA Finals, where they fell to the Denver Nuggets. However, they'll now compete without Jimmy Buttler in a full season for the first time since the 2018-19 campaign. Heat predicted to make significant noise in 2025-26. Despite Herro's foot injury, which is expected to sideline him until at least mid-November, the Heat have the pieces to stay competitive until the All-Star returns. On a recent episode of the Hoop Collective, ESPN's Tim Bontemps offered a bold assessment of Miami's standing in the East. "I think the Heat are better this year than they were last year," he said. "Tyler Herro is going to be out for a little while with a foot injury, but I would bet on them to be better. And if they are right, I think they've got a chance to be in the mix to finish in the top 4 in the East, just like I think Detroit does." With Achilles injuries sidelining Jason Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton for the foreseeable future, the Boston Celtics and Indiana Pacers could face down seasons. That alone opens a slightly easier path for Miami to climb the standings. Alongside Herro, Adebayo, Powell, and Andrew Wiggins, the Heat have multiple young players who could take another leap. In particular, Kel'el Ware, who earned an NBA All-Rookie Second-Team nod last season, and Nikola Jovic, aiming to return to full strength after another injury-plagued season, could provide a spark. The Heat have surprised the league before, and the Eastern Conference appears to have a bit more wiggle room this season. While a top 4 finish would be ambitious given the rising Detroit Pistons, Orlando Magic, and Atlanta Hawks, it wouldn't be surprising to see Miami avoid the play-in tournament. Despite the strides that Pelle Larsson has made in his offensive game since breaking into the league, he continues to struggle with foul trouble. In 37 total preseason minutes thus far, he's tallied 7 personal fouls. If he can't solve this recurring issue, it's going to be difficult for him to carve out any consistent role for the Miami Heat this season. Even though Larsson won't be asked to play big minutes, one of the most annoying headaches for head coaches is bad fouls. With the level of aggressiveness that Larsson plays with, the bad foul has been, at times, difficult for him to avoid. In his rookie season, Larsson only averaged 1.7 fouls per game. Not too bad. But when you factor in that he only averaged 14 minutes per contest, that's when it becomes a clear issue. Per 36 minutes, Larsson averaged more than 4 fouls per game. At this point, the lack of control that Larsson has at times could end up being debilitating for the development of his career. Perhaps most importantly, it will make it only more difficult for Heat head coach Erik Spoelstra to trust him in key moments. Can Erik Spoelstra trust Pelle Larsson? That's the true question when we think about it. Can SPO trust Larsson enough that he's going to demand big minutes in the rotation? At least for now, I can't imagine that the answer to that question is yes. Even though Larsson started to gain a bigger role in SPO's rotation toward the end of last season, he still has much to prove. Through 2 games in the preseason, he's yet to accomplish that. Don't get me wrong, he's had some bright spots on the offensive end of the floor, but the personal fouls and turnovers have been an issue as well. At least for now, Larsson isn't at the level where he's good enough on the offensive end of the floor that you take the bad fouls and turnovers. Perhaps there's a chance he can get there if he can prove to be an excellent 3-point shooter, especially after the loss of Duncan Robinson this past offseason, but he's not there yet. It's pretty obvious that if Larsson is going to carve out a consistent role for the Heat this season, he's going to have to work on this one issue that could end up being a huge stumbling block for him and his future development. For the better part of 5 seasons, Jimmy Buttler and the Miami Heat seemed to have the perfect marriage. Heat culture was perfectly in line with Butler's on-court personality, and he took the proud franchise to 2 NBA Finals. In 2024, however, Buttler missed the first round of the playoffs, and Miami fell to the Boston Celtics. After the series, Buttler said the Heat would have won had he played. In a moment of frustration, Pat Riley told him to keep your mouth shut. Months later, Buttler would demand a trade, although it took the Heat plenty of time to work a deal to send him to the Golden State Warriors. Buttler opens up on Miami misery. While Buttler was still on the Heat, He cited a lack of joy and displeasure with contract extension negotiations as reasons for wanting to leave. As soon as the Warriors traded for him, he was signed to a 2-year, $121 million contract extension. The Warriors were quick to prove that he is a pillar of their success. However, his unhappiness may have had nothing to do with basketball or money. "The reason I'm extremely happy is because my kids are closer to me now," he revealed in an October 12th interview with NBC. "My kids are in California. So going that long without seeing my kids, I was miserable. I tell everybody that's the part of the game that the outside eye doesn't see. You think it's just basketball, but it's not. So I'm happy because I'm wanted. I'm happy because I got an incredible group of guys. I'm happy because I know we can win a championship, but I'm happy because I get my kids around too." Butler's kids and family live in San Diego, so now he's in the same time zone and is only a short flight away from them, instead of being on the other side of the country. Butler reveals goals with Golden State Warriors. In Miami, Butler was clearly the best player on the roster. His intensity on both ends of the floor lends itself well to being a high-level supporting player, but his talents propelled him to superstar status. On the Warriors, Butler can take a back seat behind Stephen Curry and Draymond Green. There's still immense pressure, but it's on the team, not the individual. "I know what I'm capable of," he said, before focusing on the team. "I know what we're capable of as a unit. I can't wait to get this thing underway." The Warriors are dark horse contenders in a crowded Western Conference, but finding postseason success as a preseason afterthought is nothing new to Butler.